population is under the age of 25, and although political party participation has decreased, just last week, a survey by the Cabinet Information and Decision Support Center showed that they surveyed 925 youth aged 18 to 35, and less than 1% of them could actually correctly identify the number of political parties, and only 7% of them were members in a party. Even so, I think that social and political awareness is on the rise, and this is due to a large extent to the internet, because it's managed to mobilize youth. It gave rise to civil participation. It re-energized the debate of reform in Egypt and the rest of the Arab world. Blogging, it's worth like a whole conference on its own to see how it actually changed the face of Egyptian media. But suffice to say, it was not really a good metaphor. Like, it was matched media. Like, it made everyone just like wake up and be like, what? We actually have to. This is the public. This is their voice. We have to go and we can voice this out loud. So the state, which was actually in the beginning considered like bloggers operating in this little vacuum and no one was listening to them, it suddenly like set up and like took notice that actually people were reading this and that they had no way to control it, maybe even not even know who was writing. Of course, later on, yeah, they could track them down, but in the beginning, people were anonymous. The arrested, of course, began in most cases King Raymond, who got 4 years in jail. And of course, the blogging came YouTube, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Heba. There's a very well-known blogger, and his most famous video was the sodomizing of a bus driver. His YouTube account has like 200 videos, like 3,000 subscribers, and millions and millions of viewers. Videos, YouTube, they give instant credibility, and anyone can now have a camera, you have a built-in video, you can take video, you can send it to any blogger if you don't want to do it yourself. Politics, it's not, you can't contest it, it's not easy to fake, it's not like an image. One of our guys' recent videos, which I think sheds a lot of light on the situation in Egypt now, is uploaded in the 6th of April strikes, which was just last month, a call for a strike. Happened in the Nile Delta town, in Heba, where there were 2 days of rioting, 2 people were killed and 150 were injured. The video now has like over 100,000 views, and what it shows is Egyptians tearing down the poster of the president and actually stepping on it. This is something, it never happened. How did this happen like 10, 15 years ago? I was actually in a conference with Welch in Turkey, and he was talking about how like all the trouble he faces and like all the threats and all the trouble he's in because he's so vocal in prison. And one of someone got up and actually said, you should be lucky if you were like 20 years ago, you'll probably be in jail, or something before that, you're lucky you're still free. Egypt's in a state of transition, and it's like someone who just did an eye operation. If you tear off the bandage, the whole blind has to be Anyway, so blogging allows non-governmental actors to voice what the people are thinking, to reflect different ideological streams, and it gives an outlet to political aspirations. I think blogging, combined with the whole street activism and people taking to the streets, which began with Heba in 2005, it resulted in the birth of what I think, this is my personal opinion, is the most important independent media outlet, if I can say that, in Egypt now, which is Facebook. I was reading a column in Weekly by Heba, who was deputy editor of the CS of the Late Journal, which is published by the Haram Foundation. He was talking about the strike, 6th of April, and he said, this strike signals the end of the one-party era. The ruling National Democratic Party, the NDP, is no longer the majority party, but there is another party that is larger in numbers of influence, the Facebook Party. Mona Tahoe, who's a journalist, she's lectured on a blog from Arab World. She referred to, in just a column she published just a couple of days ago, as Generation Facebook. And I have to say, I agree with her wholeheartedly. Meaning, how many of you are on Facebook? Show of hands. Yeah, so ours are easy. It began as a way, at least for Egyptians, we have like high five, or whoever uses your profile, and the bottom of the So it began as a way to get to like the girls and stuff. It mushroomed into like a platform for political activism. And I was reading this article about it. It was like Americans use Facebook to put photos of their pets, and Egyptians use it to it's a way to like, what can I say? It's crazy. Awareness, people, I find out a lot of stuff from Facebook. I go on as a journalist, I go through events to find out what's happening. Even if I'm like writing a calendar events and news so much, you find out everything that's happening. People have comments, posts, notes, it's crazy. I got into a few in the Facebook event on the 6th of April that actually started as a group by a 27-year-old And I don't think she even thought that it would be that, it would quickly like blossom into what it did. I got like at least 30 messages, emails, text messages, everything telling us the strike, the strike, the strike. So she was detained, by the way, for 3 weeks, arrested, but she was later on released. Last thing, the day after tomorrow on Sunday, which is May 4th, this is the president's 80th birthday. Happy birthday. There's another strike. It's called for another strike. The group on Facebook has over 74,000 members, and which is just as much as not. Like the April 6th strike, it was a call for not doing anything, which made it hard for people to actually tell, because it was a Sunday, which is a holiday by many. It's hard to actually tell how successful it was, but there's no denying that the actual awareness was, I'm not going to say total, but it was, everyone knew about it. So in 2005, you would have Cafe and the Muslim Brotherhood, they would be the ones calling for a protest, and then you'd have them trying to get Egyptians to like come to them. Now, Facebook is actually calling for the protest, and the Cafe and the Muslim Brotherhood, who may or may not join depending on certain things, they're the ones who are actually joining this Facebook. And just yesterday, our president, yesterday was Labor Day, he said that after like years of remaining the same, stagnant, public employees are going to get a 30% raise. Just yesterday. So make of that what you will, maybe about how Facebook is influencing. Sorry.
Saleh, would you like to comment on the same question?
No, I do agree with Ethar in pretty much everything she said. I think this phenomenon is still very much at the beginning, and I'm unable to look forward and see where it's going to go, whether this is, whether the Facebook's ability to mobilize, I don't really know if it's mobilize or just arouse the interest of people at this stage and possibly mobilize later if this is going to continue, and I think the strike is going to be another test, but what I think we will certainly see is that more the internet as a source of challenges to the authorities, as a source of continuing challenge, and perhaps more attempts to control, not necessarily successful attempts, because of course every day there is another way of getting around controls.
I really don't have much to add. That was a great. I don't have a lot of local expertise specifically, and I thought that was a really great comment by Ethar, so I don't have much to add.
Yeah. Okay, so our final of our set questions before we move on to question and answers from the audience is directed first to you, Ms. Saleh, and it is, what are the implications of Middle Eastern media being available in America, and vice versa, of American media being accessible throughout the Middle East?
Well, American media has always been accessible throughout the Middle East, on television for starters. I'm not really clear on the implications of Middle Eastern media being present in the United States, but I do know, for instance, that Al Jazeera in English, while it doesn't have many viewers in the United States, it is actually viewed in the United States extensively on YouTube. I have no idea about figures, and I have no idea about impact, but I do imagine that when we're talking about people diplomacy and building empathy, that is certainly a tool that is going to help that.
I agree with Heba that there's asymmetry here in the sense that I think in this part of the world, generally there's more awareness of the public discourse in the West than the other way around. And I think that, again, while if you're looking for it, you can access that information. Although, to some extent, Al Jazeera English in particular, unless you live, I think it's in Toledo, Ohio, is the one place where you can actually get it on a TV set. You have to go on the internet to get it. So I think, again, there's a distinction between access